gentlemen, as promised, here is part 2 of the BeamNG 0.38 update video. I'll be showing you the medium and small stuff, but before that, let's start with the brand new marble quarry area on the Italy map. And man, is this big. Starting from the left, there's a brand new road leading up to the quarry, and yes, it is wide enough for the quarry truck. Then there's a very tight and steep section of the quarry, which also features this big cave, with what seems to be an entrance to some sort of tunnel or storage area, which unfortunately is blocked. Moving on, there's this crevice, which then leads to the main quarry area, which is absolutely massive. Here, you'll find marble blocks waiting to get transported, drilling equipment of sorts, portable offices, and many rocks. And finally, there's the main office and industrial facility of the Montevalle Opere in Pietra company, featuring an unloading area for trucks, a loading area for trucks, a crashed container, and of course, being a marble quarry, a bush. And on top of all this, the coastal road underneath the quarry has now been turned into a tunnel. And yeah, those were the changes to the Italy map. You know, just some small stuff, nothing too big. I love this update so much, especially because now it's time for the medium-sized changes. There's a brand new marble block prop, which looks very good, especially up close with all the marks and scratches from the drilling equipment. But the coolest thing is that it has crash physics. This is so unnecessary, and I love it. The marble block comes in two different sizes, 19 tons and 38 tons. And you can also spawn them on wooden supports if you want to easily pick them up and load them onto the HT55. Next, there's another new prop, the rock pile. It's a pile of rocks. To be precise, it's a pile of 100 spherical rocks, which all slightly differ in size. These are very fun to scoop up with the WL40's bucket, but what I personally find even more fun is doing this. Yeah, I'm cooked. On top of getting brand new props, we also get a prop remaster. And the prop in question is the log, featuring optimized textures, a completely reworked J-beam structure to improve the collision between the logs, and a whole lot more configurations. Me versus the guy she tells me not to worry about. And as you'll notice, there's also new configurations with racks, so you can easily pick them up with the WL40's log grapple. And finally, there's also minor updates to the cinder block wall, the concrete retaining wall, the large tires, and the shipping container. And thanks to the new and updated props, there's also updates to some of the trailers. The log trailer now gets a longer variant, the flatbed trailer now features loads with marble blocks, as well as large tires, and finally, the container trailer now uses by default a simplified model of the shipping container without a modeled interior. Though, if you want, you can still go into the parts selector and equip the fully detailed one. Next, there's plenty of additions to rally mode, which, let me remind you, is still very much a work in progress. First up, there's what the devs call survivor pace timing for each rally stage. Basically, what this feature does is it evaluates not only your current attempt at a rally stage, but also any previous attempts, including DNF. And then it uses that information to compute a final time. So essentially, if you keep crashing in a rally stage and restarting it over and over again to get the best time possible, you'll actually get a worse time than if you only attempted that rally stage once, even if you messed up and lost some time. Personally, I think this is a great idea because it forces you to treat rally stages as something other than a simple time trial. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think of this, so please let me know in the comments. And then there's also a brand new rally loop mode. Basically, this mode simulates the life of a rally driver throughout a regular day in rallying, apart from the diaper changes. Jokes aside, there's a ton of stuff in this new rally loop mode, so I think I'll check it out on a stream later this week and then upload the highlights. So subscribe if you don't want to miss that. And finally, before moving on to the small but still meaningful improvements, there's a bunch of updates to the user interface, starting with the overhauled Input Hints app, which is now hideable. And when you unhide it, it shows the modify keys you have set up, and if you click them, it then shows what actions you can perform and their corresponding key. You can even press both modifiers at the same time, which is very useful. And if you click on this last icon, you can show or hide the vehicle-specific actions, which is lovely. This is honestly the most convenient thing ever, as I don't have to permanently stamp the controls of all the different vehicles in my conscience anymore. and when I don't want it on screen, I can simply tuck it away. In my opinion, the only thing left from this being perfect is a setting that makes it disappear completely after some time, and only reappear once you hover your cursor next to it. Devs, please. Then there's a couple updates to the vehicle selector. If you remember last time around, it got completely overhauled. In this update, the changes are minor. The panel on the right looks a bit cleaner now, and the number of configs icon is slightly bigger. But if the changes are so small, you may be wondering why I bothered including it alongside the other medium changes. Well, that's because the same vehicle selector UI is now also used for the brand new free roam configurator. Now, this may be a little jarring at first, but let me quickly walk you through it. Just like with the vehicle selector, you can customize its appearance by changing the icon size, as well as showing your recents and your favorites. But unlike with the vehicle selector, there's also a bar at the bottom. In fact, after selecting the map you want to spawn on, you're then taken to the vehicle selector to choose the vehicle you want to spawn with. And finally, before spawning, you're given a recap of your choices as well as other settings you can change, including traffic, the time of day, and the speed of the day and night cycle. This is a very cool addition, but unfortunately, it means you can no longer quickly spawn with your custom default vehicle by double-clicking on a map. The coolest thing though is that the brand new vehicle selector UI is not only used for vehicles and free roam, but also for the brand new gameplay selector, which neatly organizes all the different challenges into separate categories, as well as the UI app selector, which is super nice to see. And finally, before talking about the smaller stuff in this update, which is still very cool, there's the usual changes to career mode, which I will not be covering. As you already know by now, that's just me wanting to experience it properly for the first time, but if you don't care about that and want to know what's changed, you can do so by checking out the patch notes, which I've linked in the description. So, kicking it off with the small stuff, there's now official support for DualShock 4 and DualSense controllers. And it's about time. Vibration has been properly implemented, and on the DualSense, you also get trigger haptics, which honestly feel kinda weird. The coolest thing though is the light bar being used as a shift light. Very nice, but for some reason, there is no option to turn it off right now. Anyways, what I'm about to say is very important if you play with DualShock 4 or a DualSense controller. If you now want to use them with BeamNG's official support, you will have to turn off any software that emulates a different controller, such as DS4 Windows. You'll also have to disable it through Steam. And to do that, you'll have to go to Settings, Controller, PlayStation Controller Support, and set it either to not enabled or enabled in games without support. Next, there's a bunch more time of day presets. Very nice. Then, there's a microscopic update to shadow rendering. Basically, they managed to improve performance by 10% while making them less noisy. And speaking about optimizations, the total size of all levels and assets was reduced by around 33%. This means that BeamNG should now occupy a couple less gigabytes of storage on your machine, which is always welcome. And finally, there's like 6 new missions or something. And so, this was BeamNG 0.38. Very nice.